Hey, this is episode 2 of my Star Wars series. Thanks for being here. I'm Eric. I have figures from the 70s, the 80s, and 90s, 2000s. Got a Rancor Monster. I have Jabba the Hutt. Guys, this is the Star Wars series, episode 2. If you haven't seen it yet, please check out episode 1. And then please subscribe to see more episodes in the future. Guys, thanks for being here. May the Force be with you. And let's go. Dark Horse had a comic book, and it was called Shadows of the Empire. Okay? An actual comic book, a Star Wars comic book. From that sprung new characters. New characters that did not exist, of course, in the original movies. One of which is Prince Xizor. This came out in like 1996, 97. And with the energy blade shields. You see on the back. He's an Underlord of the Black Sun affiliation, the Black Sun, Prince Xizor. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, from Shadows of the Empire, and as a lot of you may know, there is a Shadows of the Empire video game as well for the Nintendo 64. I still own it. I'm going to show it to you in another episode with my Nintendo 64. But as you can see right here, see Dash Rendar? Okay, right next to that Luke. That was the star of the video game. So yes, from the comic book, there are many different characters and toys, and so for this episode, I'm showing you this one, Prince Xizor, and I'll show you more in future episodes. So stay tuned for that. This is one of my dad's favorite toys. He loves this toy, and I always think about him when I see it, when I used to play with it. This is the original Rancor Monster. Came out in 1983. For the Return of the Jedi. It's got some really cool features in here. Not a feature is this. My dad tried to repair this for me once, long ago, in a galaxy far, far away. But yes, there's a little attachment between the two arms. And this one came apart, so ignore that for now. I'm going to hold it in place and pretend like it's not broken. But on the back, check this out, of the Rancor Monster, there's this little switch. It allows you to... Now, look at that, he's coming at you. Look at that. Rancor is going to get you, man. It's going to get you. Now, no Rancor would be complete without an original Gamorrean guard. All right, the guys that squealed like pigs, right? And he actually crunched down and ate one of them in the movie. Look at that. Yeah, Rancor. So this is the Gamorrean guard. And, of course, down there in the Rancor pit, along with him was Luke Skywalker in his Jedi outfit. And, of course, Luke, when he was picked up by the Rancor Monster, you guys remember it? He grabbed a bone nearby, put it between his jaws like this, put the bone in there, like a big femur bone, and it stopped the monster from crunching down on him, allowing Luke to come down, run across the pit, where he picked up a nearby skull, threw it at the door switch. For some reason, when you destroy door switches in Star Wars, the doors always open or close. But so, yeah, he hits the switch, the big gate comes down and crushes the Rancor. And, of course... in a later episode, stay tuned, hit the subscribe button. I have the Rancor Keeper as well. Well, let's just look at him right now. Yeah, but we'll do this guy separately. Yeah, but here's the Rancor Keeper. So yeah, the vintage Rancor Keeper. Very cool toy. It has movable legs, movable arms. The wrists turn as well with his big claw hands. Okay, and look at the detail on the back for that tail that comes down. Very cool toy. Very cool toy. I love this toy. The Rancor Monster. When you think of Star Wars, iconic imagery comes up. Iconic characters. One-of-a-kind characters. A character that's been replicated and given homage and copied throughout the years so many times. And who, of course, am I speaking of? That would be Darth Vader. Okay? And as you can see in the picture behind me, I have 3 of them. These are the 1977 Darth Vaders. Of course, this one, no lightsaber. This one has the telescoping lightsaber, okay, without the cape. And this one actually has the cape. That way you can actually see what they look like with and without the cape. Yes, and there is actually a version of this with like a little pointy end, like a thinner end coming out of the lightsaber. I may have had that, and as a dumb kid, I may have cut it off. Anyway, I don't know why they did that, but hopefully I didn't. But the point is, yes, these are the 77. If you ever have a question, if you find your old Star Wars figures and you want to know when it came out, is it from 77, 80, 83, 84? Just look on the back of the leg. Back here, there's actually words where it says, like, Hong Kong, 1977. It tells you where it was made and actually, and then the year in which it came out. So yeah, Darth Vader, iconic character. I mean, when George Lucas created this guy, he was, of course, influenced by the samurai, right? The classic samurai helmet, that samurai, and I believe that he was influenced by that for this design, for that fanning out, like, of Vader's helmet and mask. So yeah, such a great character, a great toy, and I'm really proud to have these, by the way. How I got through the years, I have no idea. But I know that one of these was the one that I used to play with, and I probably played with both, given I could do one with the cape, one without. I've mentioned before that, of course, my original vintage Star Wars toys were my toys. These are the things that I played with. It's that level. I was not collecting them at the time. It didn't mean it wasn't that kind of thing. These were the things that I played every day for hours at a time. My Star Wars figures were my world, because with them I could create my own worlds. Now, when the reissues came out, right, Power of the Force and the new lines, and from 95, 96, 97, 98, through 2000, when these new lines came out, my wife, I was married at the time, I was getting sympathy gifts after my surgeries, and my wife just loves to get cool stuff. One of these I would never have gotten on my own, but I have to thank my wife for so many of the great stuff that I got in the 90s, and including this one. This is an X-Wing fighter commemorative plate, okay? And there's actually a note on the packaging of this that says, "Do not eat on this plate." So, but yeah, it's a commemorative plate. This is the kind of thing you would hang on your wall. There you go, Red 5 X-Wing from the Star Wars plate collection. It's a limited edition, and it's actually numbered by hand there. These are really special plates. I have more of these. Hit the subscribe button. In my future episodes, I'll show you some more of these plates. But for now, I mean, it's a really pretty plate. You can see the TIE fighter shooting at him. Kind of like when Darth Vader came in behind Luke, right? He's about to take him out. And then all of a sudden, this actually might be the part. All of a sudden, Han Solo and Chewie come in with the Millennium Falcon, blow up. Yeah, this is the moment. And blow up that other TIE fighter, right? And then Darth Vader starts hurling out into space. Luke shoot his proton torpedoes in and blow the Death Star, right? And he wins the day. This is that very moment. Such a cool plate. Really beautiful imagery. Beautiful picture on there. So yes, commemorative plate. Again, I would never have bought this on my own. But I have a wife who loves me, who also likes Star Wars, and then she gets me really cool stuff. So this is just in high praise of wives in general. If you don't have one, I highly recommend you pick it up. Take two on that. This is in praise of wives in general. And if you don't have one, I highly recommend you pick one up. That was from Ferris Bueller. I didn't really say. I'm just copying Ferris Bueller. Anyway, guys, commemorative plate. I'll show you more in future episodes. Recently, I asked my sister Amelia of iconic Star Wars scenes that she remembers. I want to recreate some of these, and she told me it's when Leia met the Ewok Wicket in the Endor forest. Well, this is Princess Leia. One's in a little bit better shape than the other. Got the two versions here. One has a belt over her poncho, one doesn't. And I have the gun separate. But yeah, this is Princess Leia, okay? And this allows me, though, to kind of lift up. She's just wearing her fatigues for Endor. And, of course, in that iconic scene, she meets Wicket. This is Wicket W. Warwick. And this is the original one. It comes with a removable hood as well. Basically a teddy bear. But yeah, this is when she feeds him the little cookie or cracker on the log, and they meet each other. Nup, nup, nup. And he comes with a little spear, right? And I have that spear. And then he leads her off, right? She follows him to where all the Ewoks live, and then basically she becomes their princess. It's really cool. So yes, this is a original Princess Leia with her Endor gear. This came out in 1984, back in the day when VHS reigned supreme. Just before DVD, there was the making of Star Wars, and it came out on VHS. It's called The Making of a Saga. Had so many cool things in here. What's interesting is that when box sets of Star Wars came out, like DVD on Blu-ray, these got updated and again, and now you can find full documentaries, longer versions on Disney Plus. But back in the day, this was all I had. I didn't have DVDs or Blu-rays, with the special features, and I didn't have streaming capability. So this was, I believe, the first major behind that came out in 1989 VHS tape, and I've watched this so many times, and I got to learn how ILM created the magic that they did. Industrial Light and Magic is their name, and boy, did they do it. What they achieved, what Lucas and ILM achieved with visual effects is extraordinary. Okay? Before compositing and before we have the software tools that we have now on computers, they were shooting things for real with blue and green mats and pulling cameras away or having the model ships go. And we've seen this done before too. In other sci-fi movies, we've seen ships move, and it's awkward and it's clumsy, and you can tell that they're just being moved on coat racks or wires. But they actually created kinetic movement in frame that looked real. Because you know what? They were real. These models were before computer models, right? Before 3D models made in 3D engines and software. These were real handcrafted models, like the surface of the Death Star. Completely handcrafted from all these little gadgets and nooks, and and then they create the trench for real. And the point is, when then you film that with the right lighting, add in the music, right, and the right camera moves, it's as real as it can be, because we are looking at a beautifully made model that So it's just, I am awestruck at what these guys achieved in the late 70s. And then through, of course, with the release of Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Just think of the Walker scene, right? With the big AT-ATs going through the snow on Hoth, trying to take out the rebels. And then the snow speeders flying around them and shooting their tow cables. The mixture of in-cockpit footage to the things flying around them, to them moving on the ground. That's all stop motion. That's all model work. It's just beautifully done. I am still awestruck at what they achieved back then. So guys, this is the Making of a Saga. Man, I wore this tape out because, and I could already tell even back then that I wanted to do something with video. So thank you guys for the inspiration. So Luke Skywalker had a life beyond Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. His story continued with books and comic books and video games. And one of those is from the Dark Horse comics. This is Luke Skywalker. And on the back, it says Luke learns the Emperor's darkest secrets. And as you can see, this is Luke Skywalker, looking kind of Sithy, with a red lightsaber. So obviously he learned some pretty bad stuff, and it comes with a blaster as well. This is part of the expanded universe, and what they call a 3D play scene there is, this is actually going to be folded out. I don't want to do that, of course, into a play set. Right? Give you a playset to use your action figure on. So this is Luke Skywalker. Very cool figure. I am really happy to have this one. And as you can see, that time frame, right? This would be like 97, 98 in that time frame where we had the green stripe, which matched the Power of the Force line that I showed you in episode 1. So yeah, the Luke Skywalker Expanded Universe, red lightsaber. Super cool figure. Can you believe it's been 10 years since The Force Awakens came out? The new series, of course, followed by The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. But the first one in that series, man, it made like $2 billion worldwide at the box office. People, I guess, were really hungry for Star Wars, which really makes me think that if someone that we trust could develop a script and truly do Star Wars, do it well, then now's the time. it's been 10 years. And because that's really almost 10 years from the prequel trilogies, right? In just an approximation. So I think it's about time, but man, I want it done right. I did not care for the new series. There were parts that I liked. My kids and I got to watch them together, so meant something to me. One of the new characters, though, was a hotshot pilot named Poe Dameron. Okay, this is from Force Awakens. And you can see he has his helmet on there. And on the back, instructions to use that accessory that comes with him, some kind of weird accessory. And of course, the massive amount of warnings and labels and attention stuff that Disney likes to put on their products in multiple languages. But yes, Force Awakens, Poe Dameron. And I have like 3 of these figures, and I'll show you some more in future episodes. So please subscribe if you want to see more like this. For Return of the Jedi, another iconic scene in that movie is Jabba the Hutt in Jabba's palace. Of course, the Rancor Monster. And one of the playsets that they had was the Jabba the Hutt playset. Comes with 2 figures. Comes with Jabba the Hutt, of course, and Salacious Crumb that sits on the edge there. That guy. And if you remember, if you've seen, of course, Mandalorian in one of the seasons, they're walking through the street, and these guys are actually being roasted on a spit. You know, like you'd roast a chicken. And then there's another one in a cage kind of shivering, kind of freaked out. Anyway, really funny stuff that they had that in Mandalorian. And of course, Jabba the Hutt sits upon his throne. He has this cord coming from this kind of water bath thing where he has bugs and who knows what's in there. And then there's also a cord that comes out that can attach a collar to Luke, like to, keep Luke or Leia enslaved. And of course, as you know, Slave Leia or Bikini Leia sat here as well. So yeah, this is Jabba the Hutt. What's great about this figure is that when you do this, his tail moves. And he has movable arms. Of course, to articulate this massive puppet, right? It's essentially, that's what it is. When they shot Return of the Jedi in, whatever, 1982, because it came out in 83, there were 5 to 7 people operating. Someone to do the tail, the arms, the eyes, the mouth, the tongue. All these different things had to be independently controlled, either by active puppeteering, moving stuff, or probably RC, radio controlled units, like to do the eye blinks and stuff like that. So this is the toy, and now below in his throne, okay, he sits upon the throne, and it has, one of this is where you can attach that cord that I told you about. You can actually turn these outer ones to open it up, okay? And this, to me, sort of simulates the Rancor pit. There was never a playset for the Rancor pit. That would have been cool. But inside, you can see there's a molding, right, of kind of a lizard. There's a skeleton, some bones, a rat, and just basically... Anyway, so that's what's beneath Jabba's throne, okay? It's a full playset. So we put Jabba back on there, and this does come off, as you can see. You can put this on here, and then you can put this into his mouth, like that, which is probably... There we go. And of course, Salacious... the guy, Salacious comes sitting on there. Really cool playset. Came out in 1983 for Return of the Jedi. Thank you so much for being here. Episode 1 is also available. Check that out. And if you want to see future episodes of this Star Wars series, hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified when they come. As always, I'm Eric, and it's such a pleasure doing this. I look forward to this series. And just you guys joining me, leave me a comment, like it, share it with your Star Wars loving friends. And until next time, may the Force be with you. And have a good night.